Hello! I swear one of these days I'll start on time. It'll happen. It'll happen eventually. But hi, how you guys doing? Welcome, welcome. Last time we broke collisions, so we're gonna try anyway and unbreak them today. Subhuman Potato, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. But yeah, so yeah, last time I broke things. And I need to not break them. Goodsy, how you doing? I most certainly did. I most certainly broke collisions again. I need like shelves or something to put crap on over here instead of just piling on my desk. So yeah, so each of these bricks are like the child spawn things, right? Bridgewater, how you doing? The BGM wasn't on. My TV speakers were dead. Panic over. Yeah. Yeah, I got music on. Yeah, so the collision here works still, right? But if I go into... Right, okay, that's fine. But if I go over here to the child board, you know, I wonder if the... Oh, the walls do work, even though they're not drawn. But over here, they just... Yeah, it just, it don't collide with anything, which is not ideal. So we need to fix that, and that's what I aim to do today. Well, that is going almost great. But now I have to leave my bike in Prague. I don't know how you pronounce that. I apologize. I'm going to Pula, Croatia, for a diving adventure. Ooh. Woke up about 20 minutes ago. I woke up like... Well, I woke up hours ago. I rolled out of bed like an hour ago, though. Special power out, turn off brick collisions for 3 seconds and turn it back on. See... That opens up an entire can of worms, though, because like when you turn it back on, you could be inside of a brick, and you don't want to be doing that. So what's up with the lazy ball? You mean the gravity on it? That's just something I've got that I added a while back. Someone suggested it in chat, and I just that's a little loud. Thank you, Jojo, for that hose. Appreciate that. And I didn't turn that on for you guys to hear. Yeah, it was added on a whim a while back. Inside a brick colliding, but where did it come from? What direction did it come from? Which way is it going to bounce? So, I mean, I'm doing all right. Can't complain too much. But yeah, so I have no idea what's going on here. I might have an idea what's going on here. Game.asm. Go. So, like a stream or two ago, I started anyway doing rewriting some of the collision code to remove the constants and add in and use variables instead, right? So I could use the exact same collision code for both the parent board, the main board, and the child boards, right? I just had to change some variables before. Hold on, when I draw that screen, right? And I have to really worry about it for the rest of the time. Makes things a little. It can make things a little bit easier. Should make things a little bit easier, right? If I remember right. Execute collision. No, not that one. Wait a minute. Did I not? Oh boy. Oh boy. Compare it there. I remember there was a spot that I needed to do some math. That it was like some shift math, right? Some bit shifting. I don't remember where though. Wasn't those? I don't remember where. Point to tile, maybe? No, because these are... The walls I'm going to have to make variables as well, because I want the walls to move in for the smaller boards. To do remove constants from this. Kill wall. Wait. Oh, right. Yeah, it just resets right now. Right, paddle collide. These will need to be. Probably need to be what's it, put into a variable, especially if I want to do the larger or the smaller paddles. Ball angle stuff, no. Check paddle horizontal collide. No, I think these are fine being constants. Well, they're not actually, but I'll deal with that later, because that's, again, move constants from this to variable with paddle. Yeah. Check brick collide. All right, it's going to be in here somewhere. Point collide offset, edge collide offset. These are for the ball itself. I don't think these will ever change because I think the ball is always going to be the same size. No. Again, for the ball. Where was it? Get address for child brick. There's your brick. Alright. Does that actually get the right one? Child map addresses. Oh yeah, so loads up the board, gets the address of that, and then does the stuff on it. Okay, well, that should be fine then. Well, does it though? Does that actually work? Board, brick column. Wait, if this stuff is never... Okay, if the brick column and row stuff is never set, that code will never get triggered. If the brick action is never triggered, that means neither of the collides were triggered either. Right? In theory. All right. Ball direction, collision. Check 2-point collision is. All right. Check point collide. Maybe this one. Aha! Here it is. It was a fix me that I had to do. You know. All right. Okay, so for this one, I need to. Well, first I need to remove the constants from this and confirm it still works on the main board. And then adapt it for the child board, or yeah, and adapt it for the child board. All right. So we are going to be using. Do I have what variables do I have to use here? Checkpoint collide. Where is that called from? Okay, so I've got temp X and Y are being used. I can't use those, obviously. Are the indexes being used anywhere? Checkpoint collision. I don't think so. Checkpoint collide is the top of it. Yeah, checkpoint collide is the top of it, so I'm not using index A or B or whatever. I'm just using temp X and Y. Okay. Ghostly Coding, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Okay. So I'm only using temp X and Y. Or X and Y. So let's use temp Z for this one. So load up board, no, game board height. Yeah, because that's the where we're going to be storing this when the map is drawn, but there's a different value for both the, you know, main board and the not main board. And then we're going to shift this right 3 times, right? 2, 4, 8, right? Right. And then I'm going to clear the carry and add carry the game board offset Y, right? Or game RAM. Huh? Where is this stuff? Is this over here? It is. Why is it over? Oh, because it's in 0 page. You know. So right now 0 page is global stuff, right? I could do the same thing I'm doing with the RAM, the other RAM pages, or RAM segments rather, and partition that out. I don't really need to right now, but I could. I'm not gonna do it right yet. All right, I'm not doing it right now. We that's something to keep in mind for later if I need the RAM space. Because currently, like I said, it's global, so anything for what's it? Like the credit stuff that I would define in 0 page wouldn't be used at all during the game, so it'd just be like wasted bytes essentially. Come on. Wait, let me futz with this. Hang on. There it goes. But yeah, I don't think I need to really worry about that right now, so I'm not gonna. Game board height. No. Offset Y. And store that into temp Z. Hold up, temp Y. Actually, I could compare these two like that, but I'm not gonna. Compare that to temp Z. Because then I'd have to like change around this crap, and I don't feel like doing that. Okay. So here is where I would need to check for the child board. So I just need to bit current board, and if it's scratch minus, add one like that. Right? No, because it's. Why am I multiplying by 8 here? Because that's to get to pixels. Right, that's going from pixel to tile, so I don't need to do that. Because it's always going to be 8, wouldn't it? Board height divided by 8. Multiplied by 8, excuse me. Add it on the offset. Yes, that's always going to be 8. Not 6 here. Yeah, not 6, because that's the yeah, board height times 8. 8 pixels. Because that's what that is. Get rid of that. And we also need to do the same thing here, but for X instead. So this is going to be width and offset X. Board width times 8 pixels. In theory, right? Maybe. Okay, so let's see if this actually works. And to do that, we are going to use a different main map. Started loading 652. Really? Not bad. Nice. For the NES or like the Commodore or just in general? Main boards. Let's see. I think we want to use the full, not that one. You know, it'll work. Where's the full board of? Was that 0? It was. It was board 0. Okay. Board 0. Commodore 128. All right, nice. Not bad. I haven't done any Commodore programming. I'm told. Well, there's a few people that keep bugging me to try to like port some of my stuff to it. I don't know. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I might not even do that, honestly. I might just skip the Commodore and go right to the Coco. I started looking up, by the way, and actually writing out some like higher level design goals for the color computer project that I think I might actually end up doing. I don't know yet. We'll see it. We'll see. Amiga 500. Why don't you try an Apple II? Because I mean, I don't have any of those. The reason for the Coco, the color computer, is because I have a friend that has a physical one that works. A Squared, how you doing? Welcome. So that's the motivation of choosing that machine. Is just that my friend has a physical one, and the whole like idea around this project is because like, so he has one and he has like a tape drive. And nothing else but what's built into the thing. So I kind of want to like take it as a challenge to write software and assembly for the thing using just the machine itself and nothing else. Yeah, I started planning some things out. I don't know if any of these will come to light, but maybe. I have no physical machines. See, I actually really enjoy getting my stuff working on real hardware. In fact, if I turn that on and then switch over to this guy right here, this is a real NES that I've got off screen here, and this is an older ROM. But it's broken, apparently. Apparently it's broken. Alright, that's cool. It is TRS-80 as a Coco. So it is a TRS-80 Color Computer 2, I think is the specific one he has. The Color Computer, however, uses a 6809, whereas the other TRS-80s use a Z80 processor instead. 160p ASM time. My internet's crapping. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'll look at that thing later, I guess. I don't know. But point is, my code does actually run on real hardware. I've got it off to the side here. But yeah, that was the main motivation of choosing that computer instead of, say, a Commodore, because I don't have a Commodore, or an Apple II, because I don't have one of those either. But yeah, one day my friend just sends me a picture. He's like, so I was going through some storage, and I found some things. And he shows me this TRS-80 in practically mint condition, and I'm like, you what? What do you mean you just found this? Excuse me? TRS is a Tandy Radio Shack. Yes. Not the tip rig sleeve. The 80 is from the Z80, except that the Coco is a 6809. Yeah. The 80 is from the Z80, except when it isn't. Tip ring sleeve. Ah, got it. Yeah. Could look for a Commodore, Apple II, and eBay. Yeah, you could. You can also find the TRSs on eBay as well. I'm not in any. I'm not in a decent financial position to actually go and looking at eBay though, so I kind of can't do that. Otherwise, I probably would, honestly. All right, so I needed to change the start map, which is going to be 0. That's not what I wanted to do actually. I wanted to hit make instead. That. Come over here. Do that. Okay. So now it's all going to be health bricks, so it shouldn't spawn anything. For only $200. Okay. I don't know if you noticed or not, but it's still broken. It's broken worse now, actually. It's broken worse now. Because none of them collide. Okay. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. Whee! What's the name of that code again? No. Checkpoint collide. All right, let's see if any of that actually executes. Checkpoint collide. Okay, it's in the code. That's good at least. At least it's consistent now, right? How you doing, /life? Welcome. All right, so yes, we should be colliding there. All right, so 61. What is that in decimal? 61. Okay, in decimal actually is 97. Okay, let's divide that by 8, and that's 12 or 13. Okay. What did I say it was? 97 divided by 8. Yeah, 97. Okay, so it's in the 13th tile. It was where it's trying to look, right? Let's find the 13th tile. Let's make sure that it's actually looking at the right one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, which is a good 4 from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's look at this one. So it's coming down. All right, we're good. All right. And on the X, we are at 58. Let's actually just get another one open and have this one in. What did I say? 58? 58 hex to decimal is 88. All right. 88 divided by 8 is 11 tiles in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, yeah. So we are looking for the correct tile. All right, that's good. That's good. Another computer for me, just treated myself to a, what's that? EOS 5D Mark IV. I don't know what that is. It always falls, you know, you could just remove the bricks instead and call it a day. But then, like, no. Can't not collide with bricks because there's no bricks. DSLR. Okay, got it. Yeah, nothing can break it. There's no code. No. All right, so let's step through this and see where it's going wrong, shall we? Compare that to game board offset, which is 20. Right, so that'd be the start of the top. Right. So we're not above the board. Good. And now we're doing the math for the board height to make sure that we are not below the board. So loading up C. Okay, we went the wrong way. We need to be shifting left, not right. ASL. It's not just yeah, ASL. Okay, we're gonna try that again. We need to multiply, not divide. I needed to change the other one too. Hang on, because. Okay, let's try this one again. Turn off that breakpoint. Well, that was a little weird, but whatever. So, okay, see, there we go. So once I like fix the that's good. That's good. That's real good. So I fix the math there. The shifting. Oops. Okay. Wait a minute. What was that? What was that? Excuse me? Excuse me. Where is it breaking? Wait a minute. It was it thinks there's tiles over there. It thinks there was tiles over there. What? But it didn't clear anything. ASL is bit shift left and LSR is right. Yeah. Right. It's finding tiles somewhere else in RAM. I don't know where. Because it didn't draw, there was nothing to draw over there. Give me that window. There was something to draw over there. Nothing at all. I don't get it. But why? Is the offset wrong? Because now I'm not sure if these tiles are actually there. So it broke. Code and system security, how you doing? If making sense, stop making sense. Yeah. Yeah. It's finding tiles that are probably not actually tiles or under. No, it is. It was looking at tiles in RAM correctly in the correct range in RAM, right? In the correct chunk. Meta contract, how you doing? Is there a reason you don't compile C for the 6502? There are a few actually. Yes, the main being that goes against my main reason for learning assembly, which is reverse engineering. I don't know, I can't complain too much. Code and system security. Why not LSR and ASR? Just because reasons, I don't know. It's logical shift left and arithmetic shift. Or no, logical shift right and arithmetic shift left, or something like that. Yeah. So there are abbreviations for what they're actually doing. Fit Lutter, how you doing? The overflow bit can be used with the rotate commands. Well, yes. I don't get why you don't just pipe the source code in the mainframe with the pipes now. Good box. Hello! How you doing? Quazteal? Am I saying that right? I hope I am. Welcome. Right, so something broke. I don't know what broke. We're gonna interrupt. Okay. Why are we jumping to F? It thinks there's a brick action. Okay, what's watch window? Brick address 0521. That's not the window I wanted. This window. 0521 is not a brick address. That's an index. I have a real position. I'm just trying to figure. No, that's fine. That's fine. To be fair, I mean, I barely understand what I'm doing myself. Genos, how you doing? I'm Broken here. Welcome back to another debugging session. In today's episode, my brain melts. That's basically it, right? I just think I'm getting better at masking. Maybe I don't know. How many instructions? Not many. Not many at all. And in fact, I can show you on a single screen how many instructions. There it is. This paragraph right here is the entire list of officially implemented instructions. There are more unofficial ones, but these are all the official ones. There is no multiply. Unless I multiply or divide by 2, which just so happens to be a bit shift. Why wouldn't you be randomly breaking? Yeah. 194 valid instructions, an additional 64 broken. Yeah. The broken ones are random stuff. Well, it's not necessarily random stuff, because there are a few that are useful. Yeah. Opcode's only 8 bits? Correct. Yep. SPS tech point. Yes, it is. And Buzz of the God Airline. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. PHP PLP. Yes. So that's push and pull from the stack. Yes. There are patterns and some are useful. Yeah, I mean, some are useful. Some. But yeah, so that's the entire official instruction list. And a lot of them are like opposites of each other or do something slightly differently. Like the load instructions, load something into A, X, and Y are basically the same thing, only the destination's different, you know? Basically because only so many pins are read when decoding. I don't know the specifics of it. Couldn't PHP sometimes. Alright, so getting the address of the brick is clearly wrong. Why? What's the... I don't have them in here. Brick call and brick row. What are these? 19. Can I get... I actually want unsigned decimal for both of these. Ah! No! Okay. Row display format. Row, only the row I want to be. Okay. Let's configure the child map size. Possibly. Let's see. Game board width. 24. No, it is not. Game board height at you. 24 by 12. That is the correct size. Okay. Game board offset Y. 32 offset. Okay. And game board offset X. You. 32. Okay, so that's the correct. Those are the correct values for the main board. I don't remember the exact thing, but it happens because certain bits correspond to different types of instructions, and it uses lookup table bit, by bit or something. Kind of, sort of. I mean, not necessarily a lookup table, but it's the way it's wired. They have those bits activate lines in the CPU. And even though they might not do anything, they still activate those lines or whatever, you know. Or not officially doing anything. And a bunch of those have quote-unquote undefined outcomes. This is probably as much as confusing. Yeah, x86 is a beast. And I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, I don't think. Or you screwed up when adapting for variable map sizes. I absolutely did, because that's the only change I did so far. Is there something like an ASM converter that I can use to port games? Well, I mean, converter from what? So, I mean, not really though, because I'm working with. I had to work directly with the hardware, right? So like for porting a game between like a Windows machine and, say, for instance, a Macintosh, underneath there's still an x86 processor, and underneath they still have the same peripherals, right? They have a screen probably, and some input keyboard and mouse, for instance, right? In the operating system layer, either like Windows or Mac, provides a abstraction layer to read that stuff, right? So games can be like, okay, just look at this API call for the thing, right? And we'll find it from there. I don't have any of that on the NES. There is no operating system. There is no abstraction layer. On any machines this old, there isn't really an operating system, right? I mean, some of them did have an operating system, but you wrote for the hardware, the specific hardware, right? So I know I'm not explaining it very well. In order to get like anything to the screen, I have to poke a specific chip in a specific way to get my desired result. That specific chip is only in the NES. The Commodore has a different chip, and it acts differently. Even though it has the same 6502 processor, and can run the same assembly code, I can't just load up a NES ROM on a Commodore because it doesn't have the same video hardware or audio hardware, or the memory mapped I/O is mapped differently, mapped to different ports. The controllers are mapped differently. It's got a keyboard instead. So yeah, thinking between two old. Yeah, so it's still, you have to write specifically for that console, and the way you design a lot of your code is around that. So the way I'm designing a lot of my code to talk to the PPU is designed around the PPU on the NES. If I wanted to port this to the Commodore, I would have to change a lot of my data constructs, I would think, and change how I represent things in memory to make it make more sense with that specific hardware. Even the Atari can technically run it. Correct? Up until a certain size, anyway, because the Atari member chops off a few pins on his processor, so it can't read everything. It wouldn't work on the Atari, because, like, the Atari's only got 128 bytes of RAM, when I expect at least 512 bytes of RAM for both the zero page and stack, but whatever. You get the idea. So yeah, even though it's the same processor, the stuff around the processor, this the supporting hardware is very different, and how it's connected to the processor is different. So you have to talk to it differently. Now, that said, there are libraries out there that try to make a abstraction layer for that, where you write to its API, and it will make binaries that will run on the Atari and on the Commodore and on the NES, given the same input code. I haven't tried it, mind you, but that does exist. It does exist. There's a couple bytes you can use, yeah. Yeah, and then the stuff between processors, that's like another level, because not only do you have different supporting hardware around the processor itself is different, and that could be different in a variety of ways, right? Like it could be a compatible difference, like the Super NES's, the SNES's processor, which is the next generation of the 6502, right? Where it still has some registers that are more or less the same, and it just adds a buttload more, right? Or it could be something like the Z80, where everything's different. Like the way you access the registers is different, the way how many registers there are, and yeah, you don't want to be like copies are horrible, right? So instead of like really porting anything at that point, you're mostly just porting the idea and rewriting everything from scratch, more or less, unless you want to use like the same data, in which case you would write, you know, the parsers for that data, but you still have to rewrite pretty much everything else. I mean, then again, there are like cross compilers for that kind of stuff, or I'm sure there are anyway. I haven't seen any because I haven't really looked, but like taking assembly or object code from one processor and translating it to another processor, it probably exists. I don't know. I wouldn't trust it. Now I'm programming on an Apple II. I'll see if I can. Good luck. Programming in Apple II. Got it. In Apple, not on. Or maybe. I don't know. But yeah, for the Apple II, I'm pretty sure that's a 6502 as well. But so the assembly is the same, right? Like the this manual that I'm reading here isn't for the NES at all. In fact, it's just straight up for the MOS 6502 or the 6500 family. So it's all the 650 whatever processors. It's from January 1976. Yeah, you can still use the same assembly code, but it's just like, you know, where you're writing the registers and whatnot, and what those registers do are going to be different. Ports are normally full rewrites, even in modern stuff. Yeah, a lot of them can be full rewrites. Yes. Some of the more modern stuff, though, if it's written properly, originally, it doesn't need to be a full rewrite. In fact, actually, so I've got the Game Engine Black Books, right? That's the Wolfenstein one, not the one I want to grab. I don't know where to do one of this. Crap, I need to find that. But it is possible to write portable code in for various systems. Even for the NES, really, it's possible to write code that's portable between the NES and the Commodore, for instance. You just need to compartmentalize it correctly, right? Yeah. Super new stuff can just be tweaked and compiled against another target, but assumes game dev team never wrote anything well. Yeah. I mean, it all depends from project to project, really. But is there an open source NES game that released at the time? Released at the time? No. I seriously doubt that. There are projects now, though, that you can get the code for. Like mine. That's the current code I'm working on. It doesn't have anything I've worked on today yet, but it will once I push it up. But yeah, I have a bunch of NES code up on my GitHub if you want to have a look at it. All right, so let's get to the top of the get address for brick, and then we'll work our way through that. Okay, so we're gonna bit the current board. Zeros. It's not minus, so we are on the parent board. All right. Right, and I checked that these are actually correct. These are correct. Right, yeah. The row and column stuff. Kid Ludens, how you doing? It was the brand new thing. The open source code was really wasn't really even a thing. Yeah. Well, not as we know it now, anyway. That's for sure. Having a fun day. So far. How's your day going? I know the source of Prince of Persia was released recently. I think I have that somewhere because I definitely remember hearing about that. Yeah, I definitely remember hearing about that. I don't remember if I grabbed it or not. Doing great. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. All right, so brick row 0B. Is that correct? Hang on. Is that the correct row we want to be on? 11. Okay, so we are on the last row. Yeah, okay. All right, last row. Wait a minute. We shouldn't be here because we are outside of the table. Column 1A. What is this? That can't be right, can it? 26. Our width is 24. Okay. So we are far to the right of the board, and we shouldn't be here. Okay. So up here, this is all the collision check stuff. This is for collision, the horizontal collision. We're not on that one. What tile? Yeah, okay, we want the vertical collision stuff though. Of this code. So I do need to back up a bunch of this stuff to get that one. Okay. And now I want to go all the way back to where do I want to go back to? All direction, vert check. That one. That's what I want to back up to. Index up behind you, basically. Have you seen any of the new River City Ransom game, River City Girls? And it's really cool. I don't think I have. I don't know. I might have. I think I remember hearing that they were making a new one. This is a hotkey, right? Yeah, Shift F10. All right. But I don't think I've actually seen the new game yet. The tile, yeah. My collision code is so long. Okay, all right. So we're at the top of this here. Child ID is 0. Right up, address per column. All right. I want. What do I want? Well, temp X and Y here. Right? Check 2-point collision. Check point. All right, so check 2-point collision looks at point A and B, the X and Y of A and B. Okay. A single index out of bounds glitch is the source of almost all arbitrary code. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so we're going into the check 2-point collision code. F07E. Okay, so F0. What is that in decimal? 240. Okay, so 240 divided by 8. Divided by 8. It's 30. Yeah, that's we're way over there. Okay. So we're like 2 tile columns off of the edge. So we should not be collided with anything here. Right. Let's get the watch window back up. So this should be out of bounds. We'll call it out of bounds for now. All right. So game board offset Y. We're not above the board. We are not below the board. But we are to the right of the board. No, not the left. But we are to the right of the board. So this one here should RTS. So we're loading up the width of 18, a hex 18. But that is 24. Yep, in decimal. We are shifting that left 3 times, so multiplying it by 8. C0. Okay. And we are adding the game board offset X. E0. Okay. That is still less than F0. Right? $70. Comparing it to Y when it should be compared to X. Comparing it to Y, I should be comparing it to X. Wait, what is this? Hang on, wait a minute. Wait a minute, what is load temp X compared to board offset? Okay, yeah. Compared to temp Z. I didn't finish writing the function. Thank you. I like it too. Okay, so it helps if I finish writing the stupid function. You know? That always helps. And I wasn't even comparing it. I was loading the wrong thing, number one. And then I wasn't even comparing it to anything. I was just loading it. So, yeah, it was broken. It's broken. Try that again. Okay, let's get way over to that side. See, that's better. Whoop, okay. I need to fix that eventually. The boost down thing. I might get to that if I finish with this stuff here. Yeah, see now it's working fine. Also, this is a lot of tiles to clear. This is a lot of tiles to clear. Yeah, it's too many tiles to clear. See on the Pokemon arbitrary code, probably, yeah. But we're working now. We're working now. Okay. So let's go ahead and just load up that other map, 6, so I can go into the child boards now. I should really have like a level selection thing, so I don't have to keep doing this, like reassembling. That was the wrong map. Was it 7? What map was it? It was 7, okay. The ball physics looked weird. Nui, how you doing? But yes, I have gravity on the thing. That was added as like, it was added on a whim, essentially. All right, well the transition there's weird, but it does work. But I might make that a son of a map specific thing. Okay, so it's not. I ain't translating correctly to the addresses then, that's for sure. For the collisions. It's getting the brick address doesn't work apparently. Apparently. Yeah, it's not even reading any of this stuff here. So watch, if I add a breakpoint that reads any of that, it'll never hit. Sakanako, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so I put a read breakpoint on that entire address space, and nothing's happening at all, which is fantastic. All right, let's see if I can get it bouncing up straight. Nope, almost. Keep missing. I missed again. Let's go, let's let me know with it, right? Oops, oh, all right. Okay, so it's not reading any of that. So I get rid of that, get rid of that. Point to tile, go to location. This code should still work though, right? Subtract the offset. Well, let's see if any of it actually happens. So that should happen when I get into range of the board, right? Oops. If I can actually get into range of the board, that'd be nice. Okay. All right. Mobster Squirrel, how you doing? And break my heart. Making children makes physics break down. Yes. Are we still in the killing of children and killing workers and stopping slaves? Yes, we are. AFK again, maybe today. All right, no worries, Noe. Thank you for the AFK. Appreciate it. Or the lurk if you're lurking. Hey, program, nice. We can just let the garbage collector pick up the slaves we throw on the curb. Unfortunately, the nest has no garbage collection, so I can't. I have to clean up my own dead children. It's interesting how you handle the ball physics. I once made a game like this in Unity, and I had to basically have no gravity or angular friction to get the ball behaving right. This was too much more complex. For the gravity, actually, not really. It's just like every frame, subtract this from the vertical height, from the vertical speed, essentially. If we're going up, if we're going down, add it to it up to a limit. And it's like 20 lines of assembly. That's like. Well, tutorials where you start. That's where you gotta start. That's where I started. Yes, there's plenty of garbage games. I'm sure that someone has a collection of them. Ba-dum. I am using the CA65 assembler, part of the CC65 toolchain. So you can have a look over there for all of the tools I'm using. But yeah, so CA65 should actually work with the Apple tool as well. It's like 20 lines of assembly when you're coding Ninja. DD vectors when ignoring air resistance in physics. Yeah. So I there is no like air resistance or like wind or any of that crap, right? It's not like n-body physics. It's not two-body physics. It's gravity down. That's literally all it is. How many LJN games do you have? I don't know what that stands for. What is that a clip of? Thank you, Asgard, for that. Thank you for that. I needed that, I think. I think I needed that. When is a constant addition to the horizontal component too? Well, wind isn't necessarily constant, though. I mean, it can be if you want it to be, but it's not necessarily constant. But anyway, so let's see if we can. LJN for the best. I have no idea what LJN is. Wind is constant in a vacuum? I mean, not even there. Welcome back, Jojo. How you doing? Yes, I'm talking. It is a simple addition with a cap. Well, it's actually not a simple addition, not with how I have things set up. Like for the gravity, it's not a simple addition or subtraction. It's both, depending on which direction you're going, and if it flips direction, I actually have it. It's broken where it flips direction. Honestly, that's what I need to fix. But yeah. Could be adding from an address. No cap, actually. I mean, well, I have a cap here. I have a cap on this, but when it continues to propel it, right? But if I don't cap things, collision breaks harder. It just starts clipping through things, and I mean, technically, like if you want to get technical, there is still an upper speed limit for everything in the universe. So there is kind of a cap still. Factorial, that's a lot of multiplication, isn't it? For gameplay, you need for gameplay you need caps, and I mean, like, the speed of light isn't actually light's speed, if you catch my drift. It's the maximum speed anything can go at. Light just happens to travel at the maximum speed. So we call it light speed, but it's really the speed of information. So there is an upper limit to how fast things can go, even in the physical world. Those you start to pull SM64 and start belching through everything. Yeah. We're probably a toy maker who used to create awful movie title games. Back to the Future, Terminator, Aliens. Helping to sell their toys. They are notoriously terrible games. Our friends' air resistance friction shall forever stop you from living infinitely fast. I mean, it's not even air resistance and friction. Like even in a vacuum, you know, there's a speed limit that you can't go above, or else physics starts to break. Yeah. C120 is still limited for actual Factorio. Speed of light is the speed of causality. Yeah. So it's not that speed has a light. It's just that there's a maximum speed for everything else that can happen, and light just happens to be the fastest thing, so it travels at that speed. I think LJ took the inspiration for their games from E.T. for Atari. But the force applied from wind, if you model acceleration with some force and speed, it has to be fine. Since the force is proportional to mass and yeah, like I don't have a ball mass here. I just have like a constant, like, no, every other frame or whatever we're subtracting something. Or every frame we're subtracting a fractional amount. Excuse me. In a perfect vacuum, there's only you and nothing else. Short infinite, but we can't have that, so all those tiny worms will stop you eventually. Alright, so back to the matter at hand anyway. Go on special relativity on that. No. I ain't doing that. Alright, so point to tile. Type Y7 or 6E. What is that? Why is my nose so stuffy all of a sudden? 6E, we are decimal 110. Okay, let's divide that by 8. Divided by 8 equals. Alright, so we are 13 and 3/4 tiles down. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay, so we are looking at like the last tile essentially. Okay. I found a square root. No. So we're gonna take that, and we're going to subtract the board offset of 40. Okay. I'm gonna divide that by 8. I suppose I could wait. Board offset. Why is that in pixels though? That should be in tiles, shouldn't it? Whatever. I thought you wanted to add for gravity. For gravity, if it's going up, I subtract from the speed. If it's going down, I add. And on the flip, when it wraps around 0, I change the direction and then change the if I'm adding or subtracting. But during that flip, I break things and break the speed. Make math with math. It's mathematical mathness. Yeah. The special utility has dilation that uses squares and squares and stuff. Yeah, I don't want to be doing that though. Alright, so divided by 8, we get 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, yes, that's correct. 5 is the index based on 0. Yes. So we are looking at the 6th row, which is the bottom one here. Good. All right, and then we are grabbing the column stuff. So we're subtracting the offset. Divide by 8, store 1. Okay, we are looking at the second half of that brick, the second column, index 1. That's correct. Point to tile works fine. Okay, that's good. Yeah, you cannot increment A directly, no. You can increment X and Y directly, or a memory address directly, but not A. Until this is 65, 816 processor. But you put the speed in the negative value and then hit the platform, then you add every frame. I think I had to add put the speed on negative. I put the speed on negative value? What? I'm not sure what you're explaining there, Genos. I apologize. Yeah, I have the speed always as positive, and I have a different byte defining the direction that it is going. Makes things a lot easier when I'm checking the direction all the time, especially in collisions. So I don't have to keep checking. So I can check just one bit, or one byte rather, so I can bit that byte and not have to do some other stuff. All right. Here it is, right here. Row addresses. Where are we? Checkpoint collide. Row address right here is what I need to change. Because that is looking somewhere else. That is looking in the main table, isn't it? Address pointer 0. Yeah, that's looking in the main table somewhere. Alright, so this here, bit current board, branch on minus, gonna grab this stuff, paste it there. Child board, main board. This is going to be a little different. What was it again? Map, decode, child map addresses. Oh, I need to change. I can't do it that way entirely. For example, put y speed equals -30 when hitting the bar, and every frame you subtract one, it's going to get 30 pixels up and then fall down. No. So my speed is always positive. Period. I add or subtract the y coordinate depending on the direction it is going. Period. That's just the way I have it set up in RAM. So my ball speed is a unsigned integer. And I have the sign somewhere else, which determines the direction, essentially. What else? I am using Windows. You don't have to be using Windows though. I have this assembling on a Linux build server. Travis. Yeah, it's Windows 8.1. No. But all of my tools are cross-platform, including Sprite, I believe. Yeah. Oh. And yeah. Watching how I did it on desktop. Okay. All right. Dirtiest fall Windows land. I don't know about the dirtiest, but I don't know. Yeah. But to clarify, Janos, I did actually use a signed value for the speed. It made updating the ball easier, where it was on screen. However, changing direction was a little bit more complicated, and the checking for direction, which happens a lot in a lot of different places, ended up being its own routine that was cumbersome and was like what, 8 or 10 instructions, all that are replaced with a single bit instruction, right? So. All right, Ghostly. Let me know on Discord and the advertising channel what you do. Yeah, Assembly is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. It really is. Okay, so now we've got that, and let's try this again, shall we? Now that we're checking the correct addresses, we might actually it might actually work. Who knows? All right. So, I've been noticing it's a little buggy if I move into a board or move into what? What? No. What was that? What? I think it's always my favorite language was Python. Shallow, how you doing? Welcome. It's the biggest thing I've seen in a while, right? Straight to assembly from Python. So clearly something's broken. We're setting the address pointer again to F's. You know what? We're gonna put breakpoints on these guys. Edit breakpoint when we read, and let's see, the word of 0000 or hexadecimal zeros equals 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Why can't I do that? Why won't it let me set that? Conditions, right, okay. But why won't you let me? Come on. I can't check if an address equals it. Why can't I check if an address equals a value? Huh? That's dumb. Nothing is broken. It's just doing its job. Oh, shame to have missed the thing that broke for such an amazing reaction. Akamaffin, how you doing? He's traced the breakpoint, you know. Just some guy, hello. Any instead of range. Thank you. Thank you, actually, because there wasn't a range set there. That's why. Okay. Thank you for that. So we're gonna redo that. Can I? Okay. That actually worked. Beautiful. There's no multiply opcode for... No, there's not. Unless you want to multiply or divide by 2, which just so happens to be a bit shift. The direction depends... the direction determines multiply or divide. There is a 178 loop to do 100 additions. Well, I mean... You can. It's horribly inefficient. You can. The easier way is to use a lookup table instead. I do that for multiplying by 5 and 12, actually. Oh. Or I'll put it over here so you can actually see it. So I've got 2 multiplication tables for multiplying by 5 and multiplying by 12. Sometimes I get bugs affected game behavior unexpected but interesting way, and then I adopt those behaviors into gameplay. I'm not sure I can adopt crashing the CPU into gameplay. You use brute force, not lookup tables. Okay, so you know what? Let's edit this. Break on writing. Yeah, let's do that one. Let's break on writing. So, in theory, when I write that second FF, that's when it should break. Right? Bam. No. Okay. Maybe not. Slayer Darth, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Multiplying by every number factorial. Have fun with that. Every 8-bit number. That's a lot of lookup tables. Magic table. Spooky sounds. Spooky. Spooky. I'm good past, of course, this... Oh, really nice. Didn't have to bribe the assessor. Nice. It'd be nice if the program paused for 2 seconds to do a multiply by 15,642 and for 1.2 seconds to multiply by 8,561 frame by frame. Right? Alright, so this is... It's not... That didn't break where I wanted to break, actually. So, oh well. Variable delay. It's in data protection, data security, apparently. Oh, the test. Never mind. Well, congrats. So now this channel certified expert in GDPR. Well, welcome. How you doing? Alright, so I'm gonna step back a bunch to figure out why that was written there. What are we in? What do we... Get address for child brick. Okay. Current board. Yeah, okay. brick address. So right now we have X of. Whoa. Wait. Right, so it gets the first one, right? Do I have brick address here? Yeah, okay, so 6,000. Okay, it's got the first brick of this table in the correct address. Row 4. Sure, row 4 works, because row 4 is not correct, but 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it's not correct, but it's not. It shouldn't be causing a crash, is what I'm saying. You could even also just play a message calculating in the middle of the screen each frame. I don't know if breakout games have done this, but you could launch the ball at a high speed when hitting it slow and do over time. And slow it down over time. If you destroy a block, it will speed up again. I'm not sure though. If I go too fast, collision starts to break. So I don't think I'll be doing something like that. Maybe I'll do a summation of all numbers below number. There you go. Click here to agree on all these magic terms you're never going to read. Yeah, having a cold is sucks. As long as the checkboxes aren't taken by default. All right, so we're multiplying by 12 rather. I'm doing this using a lookup table, so I'm using X as one of the arguments to the multiply, and the lookup table itself is the other, right? So 30, right? So 4 times 12 is 30, right? Right? Like, in hex. 4 times 12. That was 48, wasn't it? Just there. Okay, we're doing good so far. All right, so we're gonna grab that and add that to the brick address, and the column is just 4. So, I mean, that one's actually correct. The 4 is actually correct. All right. Well, the column's correct. Okay. All right. So the address I have is 6034. What is that? 6034 is in here. Okay. So sure, why not? It's the second half of a tile, which looks correct. Yeah. Okay. So that brick address so far is correct. ASLA. This is for destroying the brick, I believe, right? Change that to X and load up the brick address stuff. Oh, the PPU address stuff. Load that at the column. All right, let's. What is that one? Brick PPU address. Get that right? Okay, so it's an actual address. 21AE. Okay, that's fine. RTS there. Okay, so the address for the brick is correct. I need 40 million fish point to start this one. Each frame is hand calculated by a math student, so that student learns calculation and the gamer gets the game. Call it play and learn. Charge $9.99 per month for the service for the gamer and $8. Force them to swap places every 24.4 frames. I can't imagine how my data protection laws Twitch streamers didn't really break. Oh, a lot, I'm sure. I am sure a lot. Okay, so we load up the address. We are not looking at the first one. That's why. Okay, so for the do brick action, I need to make sure that I'm looking at the first brick there. Okay. That's why. Get address for brick. All right, this guy here. So here, I correct for the brick second brick over here, for the second byte over here. But I don't do that here, do I? No, I don't. Okay, so at this point right here, I should have the A byte of the brick, right? So we are going to bit the brick address and branch plus over here. Otherwise, we are decrementing the brick address, and if we underflow that, if we were 0 and we're no longer 0 anymore, we need to handle that. All right, so decrement sets the negative flag. All right, so we will be negative at that point then, right? In which case, branch plus again, decrement brick address plus 1, right? That doesn't seem right. Do I not check here? Do I not? Wow, okay. Well, for this one, I don't need to worry about that because I'm staying in the same... Am I staying in the same block? How big is... current map or 24 times 12, 288. Oh, I might actually. Off by first one. 0 is nice, so let's keep it. 1 is bad because everything is always off by 1. So let's just get rid of 1 and keep the 0. Nothing is ever off by 0. Then we have just a number. Technically, whenever something is correct, it's off by 0. Technically. So there's a lot more off by 0s than there are off by 1s. But off by 0 is good. I mean, yeah, you know. Which thing do you use for room? Because, that theme. But welcome. How you doing, Harmon the Beast? It is wrong to be, it is wrong by 0 zeros covering a 0 space 0 bias. Listen here, you. Yeah, so this is actually, this isn't entirely correct here, right? Like my correct address to point to first byte of brick. Oops. Right? Okay. So at this point, we have the address of the tile, right? So when I bit that, the top byte, the top bit rather, should be 0 for the first byte of that brick. So it should be positive. If it's negative, that means we're looking at the second tile of that brick, which contains the tile value. We don't want to be looking at that because that's not the tile. That's not the tile type. Vologist, how you doing? I am trying to unbreak collisions, because I broke them pretty badly, actually. And the Gel Mega, hello, how you doing? Welcome to Zero, welcome to Zero, where we zero in zero zeros, with zero space between our 0, people, where the mass is infinite, thus zero, because 0. Please enter the zero on your own time. You may experience black hole stretching, but that's okay. That's just the magic of 0 zeros and a 0. Clumsy, how you doing? Welcome. Should this calculation be a reusable subroutine? This one only happens here when I'm getting the address for the brick. Thank you, Hummer the Beast. Appreciate that. So I don't think I need to. I mean, I could. I mean, a bunch of this code, admittedly, could be duplicated or deduplicated rather, because it's the addresses that are really. Well, no, not entirely. They're looked up a little differently, so I can't exactly reuse all this stuff, but you know. But yeah, so here, if I hit 0, or if brick address here is, say, for instance, 6100, but that's the second tile here, and if I decrement that, I want to be getting 60FF, which is what this will do, but without this, that means I would have decremented. Wait a minute. No, I can't do that, can I? There are none, unfortunately, Slayer Darth. I wish there were. Because this will always trigger if jeez. This will always trigger if that bit is set and I do a decrement. Thank you for the follow, appreciate that. I was just starting on the instantiation pass for my generics. Okay, nice. Nice on. Oh no, I should instantiate my instance. I should go read something before I go mad. To Google. Yeah. Brick address. Do you have? So you have made a CPU that calculates in bricks. Store brick 1 and brick address 56. Rotate brick left, rotate brick right, etc. What? No, what? An official NES developer porting a PS4 and Xbox. That. I don't know if I want that job. Instantiating something in AST is. I'd rather take a trip to hell. So we're not gonna do this for now. Wait, you know what? Hang on. If the address right now is 0, when I decrement, I am going to have to decrement both bytes. If it is not 0, I only need to do 1. All right. So the bit. Or no. Let's load up brick address. I want. Wait. No. This. No. I need to bit that the value right here. I'm bidding the address itself, not the value at that address, which is this here. Okay. Load Y 0 brick address at Y. Okay, because I need to do the indirect at Y. Okay. Yes. So if it's plus, we are looking at the first tile, so we don't have to do anything, right? Okay. Otherwise, we are looking at, if we are in here, we are looking at the second tile. And we need to decrement it. So we are going to be loading up brick address, the first byte of that. If it's equal, take one both. Otherwise, we're just doing that one, right? Right? Okay, so all right. If low byte is 0, both bytes need to be. Oops. Right? I hope so. I hope so. Instead of a game, just make an emulator for a machine which has tiles instead of memory and paddle controls for instructions. There are actually a bunch of ports that are essentially just an emulator on the Xbox. A diplomat is one who can tell someone to go in such a way that they look forward to the trip. Trying to coding. Netcoding's fun. I enjoy it. I also have my first macro mechanical. On my mechanical Control Shift S. Isn't that like save as, right? How could you code and talk at the same time? How? Is this your built-in or trained multitask? It's. I've had a lot of practice. I've been save all. Excuse me. Sorry, I was close. I've been doing assembly programming on stream since last September, I think. Pretty sure it was last September. So about a year. So I've had a lot of practice with it. I can still use some more, but I mean, you know. Okay. This one here. Where do we start that? Those addresses. Over here somewhere, right? Current map, 400. So, yeah, fix me. Will break if brick address is 500. Already 1 year, yeah. Time flies. Time really flies. Yeah, technically I'm speaking to myself, man. I'm just not, just not in the same room. I mean, yeah, I hope you guys are real. You guys are all right. Okay, so let's see if this fixes things. It should. I hope it does, because that'd be nice. Double check my breakpoint here. Oh yeah, we're all right. Whatever. It didn't work. Address pointer 0 is still FFF. Not the keyboard is slightly smaller than a normal size keyboard and it's screwing me. Oh, I hate that when it's ever so slightly smaller because of reasons. Yeah. To fit into a form factor, I can't stand that. Come on, Shift F10, let's go backwards. All right. How does C65 compile without the necessary segments? C65, what do you mean? Without the necessary segments? You, well, it assembles to object code. The linker is the one that is the one that determines where things go in the ROM. So if you're not doing a linking step, you ain't gonna get a real ROM. I mean, you could get by with an NROM game. Well, not even actually. You wouldn't be able to if you're using labels. But no, so you need to actually link stuff together. Let's see here. So this is my makefile here. There are two main steps really. I assemble into object code. Yeah, which is this step right here. And then I link everything together with this step here. The LD flags are this stuff right here. So it's got the NES config file, which is the big one, which is the file that tells the linker where to put all the code and where all the code's going to be run from. So it has the right addresses for all the labels. Linkers are also ones that makes a century to complete. Takes a century to complete. Oh, you mean you're writing a linker right now, aren't you? I always had a keyboard with a huge enter and a teeny tiny backspace. Not fun. Yeah, like if actually with the TRS-80 that I was using, the Coco, that's more time back before keyboards were standardized, more or less, before they had an expected layout. So like where the backspace key is supposed to be is the break key, which stops execution of things. Yeah. What type of file is makefile? It is a GNU make configuration file. There. GNU make. So this software reads that file and executes commands depending on ages of different the modified times of files and whatnot, and it helps with dependency stuff. So for instance, if I hit make right now, I didn't save anything. None of the sources were updated, so it didn't need to reassemble anything. If I go ahead and save my game.asm file and rewrite that or rerun that, it reassembles my main code. Now notice it's only reassembling main.asm, but I have a bunch of other map stuff to do, right? So if I save the main boards, save the board data, back over here, remake, it goes and builds the map data as well, because it detected that changed since the last time. So it helps with dependency stuff, making sure everything's up to date and all that. Yeah. It's a file that sets all your compiler flags. Only because you tell it to. It can do a lot of things, actually. Basically provides recipes of instructions. Yeah. And tasks have dependencies. Yeah. Yeah, so it describes how to go about making certain files, and it also lists out the files that target file is dependent on. So it builds essentially a dependency tree for you. Well, not for you, but you had to build a dependency tree for each of the input file, or the output files rather. But it makes things so much easier when you're working with more than a single source file. So you have a recipe that depends on another recipe and so on. Yeah. I have a big enter, so pipe and slash next to enter, not on top. What would be yours? Yeah, so, well, I mean, this key right here is still slash and pipe. What is this one? Plus and equals, but... Different location when they were on my laptop. Ugh. Makefile is to C. C++ is Gradle to Java. Sure. I can imagine someone who doesn't do programming asking you a Makefile. So you made this file? I mean, technically I wrote the file, so yes. Technically speaking, I did write that file by hand. I didn't use a Makefile generator for that. I don't think there are any for, well, I mean, I don't know how they work, honestly. I tried looking it up. I tried reading into Makefile generating with like a configure script, and it's so god-awful convoluted that I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to write it by hand because my projects aren't kernel size, right? They're not operating system size, so I don't need to worry about that. Actually, they use C and C++, but wouldn't use Java if you are sane. Yeah, I don't use Java. All right, where was I? What was I doing? A little distracted there. Right, we're broken somehow. Right, because the address pointer broken. Okay, why is the address pointer broken? Brick address is 6060. No, it is not. Brick address, where's my watch window? Brick address is 6031. Come on, where are we? 6031 is zeros. You don't use Java, you use you go with this enums. I mean, yeah. Okay, so 6031 is 0. It's not a brick. We shouldn't be in collision code with no brick. Unless... Okay, if I had the right window select, that'd be awesome. Unless... getting the address broke. So I'm going to go to the top here. Okay. Alright, we're at the top. Brick row. Alright, brick address at this point is 6031. Zeros. It wrapped around to FF. Because we're trying... okay. This code's working fine. We should never be here if we haven't collided, though. So far, this works fine. But, like I said, we should not be here if we haven't collided. Like a language, everyone has its pros and cons, except Java and JavaScript. Something with having Java in the name and having have died. Yeah. Okay. Brick row 4, brick column 1. And the child board open. Zero, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Column 1. We're looking at that guy right there. Right? Nothing's there. Nothing is there. So why are we colliding vertically? Oops. Where's upwards? No. Apply gravity? No. Checkpoint collide? No. Another checkpoint collide. tile. 2-point collision. All right, that's the horizontal stuff. Is this, no, I don't know what that is. I won't be able to NES program if I don't make or, well, no, I do that for myself. You don't need it. You don't need it to use, CA65. You absolutely don't need it. I find it a heck of a lot easier though, so that's why I use it with my projects. Is this code on GitHub? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I haven't committed anything yet today, so everything I'm working on right now isn't on GitHub, or everything that I've changed today is not on GitHub. But this repo is on GitHub. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I've got an entire folder of crap, right, that I'm doing, right? So I've got a bunch of assembly files. I've got a bunch of CHR files. I've got a bunch of bitmaps that I'm running through a converter for me. I've got a bunch of maps that I'm converting. So it's a lot of things in that depend on each other that I find a lot easier to run through a makefile instead of having a massive batch file, which you can do, but yeah. This right here, this is my emulator. The second link there. I think I've got everything that I use in there, mostly. This is the last link there. But how you doing, Echo Explorer? I guess you can call you Explorer. How you doing? Welcome. Oh. EverQuest. I see. How you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Right, so we need to still keep going backwards. Up to the vertical collide stuff. 2-point collision. Up to the top of all of this. Oh, excuse me. I wish I could like rewind to a breakpoint. That'd be nice. 2-point collision. Vert check. Okay. Okay. So here, check 2-point collision. X and Y, 5C and 6-7 respectively. Check 2-point collide. Actually, I didn't need to back up that far, I don't think. All right, check the offsets for everything. We are in the board, point to tile. Okay. Child etches it, okay. Wait. Wait. X here. X is the row. Hold up. Well, yeah, okay, so, but I can't use that directly because I need to multiply that by the row length. Why does that work on the main board then? When I do LD65 TNES program, it says no object file. You need a input file. So out is the destination, but you don't tell it what object files you are you're passing to it. So oops. let me actually open up my make file so I can reference this. Make file. Yeah, so for CA65, I've got CA 65 GT NES, and then I've got like main.asm, or O is main.o, and then main ASM. That's my CA65 call. Then the LD65 65 is going to be the configuration file of SNROM, I think. I don't know. I forget the exact file name. Or it's literally right there. NES SNROM CFG. So that's my linker configuration file, which is this guy right here. And then I output a debug file so I can get labels and messen. That's not required. Neither is the map file there, but I have them in there anyway. But on LD flags over here. Then I'm outputting the game.nes, which is the ROM file, but the input file is that main.o that I created in the step before, that object file. So it goes from ASM source to the object file to the NES ROM, essentially. So the first step, this right here, is what CA65 does, and then this step right here is what LD65 does. Still getting used to having dedicated home and end keys, where FN page up and F page down on my laptop. Those keys. But yeah, so that's the base, the bare minimum basically you had to do for I don't think you need the G, but I don't think the G is needed. I forget what that one actually does, but that's what you need to compile or assemble something for the NES from assembly to ROM using this toolchain. And if I go over to cc6565.github.io, documentation, CS65, and I go to command line option overview. G is add debug info. All right. Yeah, so G isn't needed, but I add it anyway because I export the map and debug file from the linker, which requires that from the assembler, so it knows certain things. But yeah. Okay. What was that? Where's my? Oh, there it is. There's the bugger up there. Yeah. So this right here is wrong then. So X, the fourth column. This should be the map. That's wrong entirely. So the child address doesn't have addresses to the rows. It has addresses to the start of maps. So I need to load that up and then add the row onto the address. Right here. So X is row. We need to store that somewhere. Transfer X to A, push it to the stack, load up X, no, load A, current board, right? Game current board? What is it? No, just current board, okay. Load up current board, and it with 7F. Don't bother. because I'm shifting it. So I'm shifting that bit off anyway. Is carry set here? Would it be set? Yeah, it's actually set here. So I do want to AND it, because if I... Actually, shifting doesn't involve the carry, does it? Shifting, rotating involves the carry, right? Where are the ASLs right there? Right, it puts something into the carry. Okay, so I can shift it. ASL A, and then we're going to transfer that to X. So we are getting the pointer to start of board. Can you do the same thing using high-level language? Here, I can actually write C for the NES, but that goes against why I'm writing in assembly in the first place, which is to learn to reverse engineer other NES games. So, but yeah, you can. C is the only one that I know of that you can compile to target the NES, though. It's actually using the same toolchain that I'm using. All right. So we've got that, and in X is the row. So we need to pull A, put that back in X, and then we need to multiply. Multiply that by 12. So we are loading up data mult 12 at X. And we are clearing the carry and adding that to the address pointer 0. And then storing that into address pointer 0. And if the carry is set, or if it's clear, we're not gonna do that. But if it's set, we need to increment address pointer 0 plus 1 to handle the overflow. Right. Get increment pointer to start of row. Small menu of some Belgian beers, legal beers are excluded. What is? What are you? Why are you sending me some unrelated crap? Huh? What? It's a long menu though. Remember configuration missing code. I haven't seen that error before. I think you have the operands backwards though. Possibly. I'm not sure if it requires it to be in one certain order. I think it does though. Yeah. So the options need to come first, and then the output file, or the input file rather. So it's ld65-o test NES, and then test O. Yeah. Otherwise, it's I don't know what I was doing otherwise. All right. So now that I've done that. Now I should be able. Now it should work. In theory. In theory. Who knows? Yes, it does need a config file. Because that's what tells it where to put things. where to put things in the resulting NES, and what memory space is going to be. Ah, come on! Yeah, so that's where it tells it, like where, or tells it what the base address for all the labels need to be, basically, right? So for the NES, the cartridge space starts at 8,000, right? But if you don't like tell it where any of that stuff will be, like the top of that file is going to be assumed to be at address 0000, which is in RAM, and you can't do that. Not for ROM space anyway. Silly fanboy, how you doing? Welcome. There are some simpler NROM configs out there though. I think I have one on my GitHub actually. There's not a .com after that. Okay. I think for Pong, I think. Yeah, so this is my configuration file for a NROM game. So it has no memory mapping anything. So it's only like 32K of ROM space and 2K of CHR space. Incognito on Chrome just for stream. Actually, I don't even use Chrome off stream. But yeah, so you need to define where the memory is, where everything's going essentially in the file, and how it's all organized and where it will be when it's loaded into CPU space. But if you want to have a look at this one, just have a look over there. The hardest part, I'll be honest, the hardest part of getting CA65 and the toolchain working correctly was the config file for the linker. But once I figured that out, you can do some pretty nifty stuff, I think. And I think it helps out a lot with the organization for using mappers when you eventually get there, if you do. Hey, so as a VPN, it does a job well from Google. So the way I have my code set up in this project here is I have 3 segments of RAM. 4 if you include extended, but I'm not for this. So I've got the 0-page memory, I've got global RAM, and I have local RAM, if you want to call it that. So the 0-page is, you know, the very top of memory. That's way up here, right? So that's global. That's shared between everybody or whatever, fine. Then down here, this right here is my quote-unquote global RAM that is set and kept, is never cleared after the initialization, right? I'm not sure if we had actual dev kits for this stuff, right? There weren't any dev kits for the NES, by the way. It was only homegrown stuff. But from here down to the bottom of, well, to almost the bottom of main RAM, that is my quote-unquote local RAM. So whenever I change a game mode, I clear out all of this RAM, and I have multiple labels pointed to the same addresses, more or less. And I define those differently, right? So let me actually open up the config. Really? There it is. So I've got the credit RAM and the game RAM both starting at hex 4000 with the same size. And they overlap each other more or less, but those labels are only accessible. Actually, no, those labels are accessible anywhere. Yeah, so they overlap, so I can use the same addresses for different parts of code that are never going to overlap. Why do I use gvim or vim? Because terminal vim on Windows is garbage because of Windows. This one, gvim, plays a lot nicer with Windows than vim. That is literally the only reason I use it. Everywhere else on Linux machines, I use straight Vim, and I've got a bunch. Right. Well, I mean, there is GVim on Linux machines, I believe, as well, isn't there? Pretty sure there is. Pretty sure there is. Yeah. I do have Vim, like, on the command line, but, like I said, Windows is dumb, and it doesn't interact very well with everything, because, yeah, it's just not that great. Why do I have just a straight to do there? The actors of Vim and such. I can't find a single resource for Lincoln files for CC65. They're out there. There are a few samples for specifically NES stuff. Are you assembling for NES or are you assembling for something else? I probably don't know how to break out of the shell of Vim, right? The documentation for it can be a little bit better, I think, but yeah. The documentation for yeah, well, for LD65 is right here. So that explains the sections and how they work and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, they could use like a bunch of examples for different things, but yeah. I was looking at Z80 assembly. Z80 is like the Game Boy and stuff. Yeah. Assembly for NES. Okay. I mean, yeah, you can use the 0 page one I've got, or not the 0 page, the NROM one. So this is like your most basic ROM. It doesn't have any memory mapping or any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, so it doesn't have to worry about anything complicated really. But this is up on my GitHub in the Pong repo. I saw someone in group stream who actually made a really Z80 homebrew PC. Nice, not bad. Yeah, hardware is not my forte, so I like to know how to make a linker file myself. Well, right, but the way I did it is I started by looking at examples and tweaking the examples, right? So you first grab something that works, tweak it to understand what's going on, and then you can write complicated ones. So the first ones that I wrote, or that I had, I didn't write myself. I found somewhere and I modified. I mean, it's like same thing with learning assembly in the first place for the NES. The first thing I did is I did a tutorial, which was following someone else's instructions, essentially. And then I tweaked things along the way. Alright, so I need to remake this and... Ow. Over here, build that. Alright. Come on there like that, and... Oop, I missed. Okay. Well, that's wrong. I would learn how to if I could find a single resource. I mean... I gave you the documentation for it. I gave you the documentation literally for LD65, which explains the configuration files. That's a resource. I linked it. What do you mean you can't find a single I linked it in chat! It's literally this right here. It explains it. Alright, so we're still at something... Why? What did I change right here? Sorrow child board. This was checkpoint collide. Okay. So he's an unlinker. What's... Jump over here. Up a little bit. Child board. Drop a right point there. It's alright, Ghostly. Don't worry, happens the best. Yeah. Yeah, I will look over so many things accidentally. Like originally with the first issue I had of the collision code, not the first, one of the bigger issues I had with the collision code was it warping. The ball warped when I hit the tile if the ball hit the tile with certain properties. The ball having certain properties, like go at a certain speed at a certain angle, kind of thing, and hit it just right, the ball would warp and bounce in a way it shouldn't have bounced. And I was prepared to take up an entire stream just figuring out how to fix this, right? And I had like a bunch of pseudocode, like, okay, we'll figure out where the ball's coming from, and like if it's over here, do this specifically. If it's over here, do that. Like all this right here, like this entire page is all like figuring out where the ball came from. Like from here down is okay. Well, if we're from over here, we do it this way. But if we're over here, we do it that way. So I got like an hour in on stream, starting to write that stuff, right? And then I open up the graphics for the ball, and the reference graphics I'm using for like, okay, here's where the collision points are. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm going at max 2 pixels per frame. These collision points are a pixel apart. What if I just move them? What if I just change this one value in source? So I changed that one value, and it fixed everything. So it was the simplest fix that I completely overlooked for so long. So long. I overlooked it for like 3 days, I think. But, yeah. Just don't recommend me to do in Rust over again. Alright, so we're gonna reset this. Alright. Child board. We're gonna make sure that this is actually looking at the right address, even though there's no brick there. Whatever. It's supposed to be looking at this brick right here, I think. Alright, so child board, transfer A to X to A, excuse me, and push that. Okay, so 5 is now on the stack. Load the current board, and we're gonna shift it. Zeros, okay. Transfer that to X. Get the, the start of the board in address pointer 0. What? Why is that 0? Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Go back. Okay. X is 5. X is 0. Okay. I don't... I'm reading the same byte twice. I'm reading the same byte twice! So I was reading 0 page for the byte itself. I mean, it's not crashing anymore, which I guess is good. Well, that's good to hear, Ghostly. Okay, so that's... Alright, so actually, the execute collision crap is wrong. This stuff, it's wrong. That's just what happens. Let's write an emulator in Rust. No, actually, no. Wait. That never happens. Why does decode byte never happen? Or why does this never happen? Why? Why? Where is this? Is this? It's never called. This is dead code. This is dead code. This is never called to from anywhere. Okay. Yeah, another thing I overlooked, apparently. Apparently! Was that because I did it here? I'm using Unbreaking action instead? I think so. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay, it was boilerplate code or skeleton code that shouldn't have been there. There's some good ideas and concepts, but also some weird stuff. All right. So we're gonna put a breakpoint somewhere else instead, because execute collision just don't exist. We're gonna reassemble first though. Then we're gonna go over here. That. Do break action. Breakpoint there. Okay. All right, so we are in Unbreaking action. It's getting confusing with link files. It does get a little confusing, but I think once you wrap your head around it, it makes things easier. Hey, look, we have something that are basically interfaces. Let's call them traits. Oh god. All right, get address for brick. This is probably what breaks, right? Right. Maybe. Probably. Did I fix this? I thought I just did. I need the watch window actually. So let's get the watch window instead. This guy here. All right, so brick address shouldn't be 6,000, but it should be in that area. $63F. Okay, that's cool. And let's make sure. Well done up, and it off. Subtract 1. Okay. Action health. That's good. Thanks for the thought. Appreciate that. So far so good. So let's. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Get extra break. That works. All right. Action health. Okay. So yeah, it's a weird bug. Why is it? Because the reasons. I mean, I literally just did it as a whim, because why not? I'm probably gonna move that to a map configuration thing, so it can be on and off depending on the map. I haven't yet. All right, so action health, cool. Mask off that. It's equal, so we're just gonna remove the brick. load up the GPU address and destroy it, and save that to destroy. AA21, is that correct? No. Maybe. 21AA. 21AA. I mean, kinda. Yeah, that'd be correct. Okay. All right, removes it from RAM. RTS. Branch unequal. And it does the bounce stuff. Okay. So here's where our bounce stuff is. That's not an update there. Ball direction. Ball direction. Branch. Minus, or I guess we're going up. Yeah, going up. Okay. These coordinate tables are for the main row. The main table. They're oh jeez. I need another set of tables for child boards, and they're going to be offsets, not actual values. God. These are coordinates. All these guys here. These guys here. All need another set. These are all I need to make more of these, but they need to be offsets, not actual values. 7 broken mirrors. How you doing? Yikes! Yeah, that's a yikes. Alright, let's see what's going on here with this then. All the way to the bottom of that. Not the RAM. All that. Yeah. Playing Mountain Blade Warband on the second screen. I don't think I've ever played that game. All right, so board offset. Those are not what I want to be using now. What I want to be using instead, child offsets, and the child board height and width. Oops, no, not that one. From this one. Main map, child maps. Tile pixel bounds as an offset. That can be right out of there, is it? I feel like I have hair in my eyes all the time. Why is that? What's the simplest NES game you've made that's on GitHub? For me, that was Pong. And I only made Pong because I was following a tutorial for that one. So if you have a look at the second link there, that's the tutorial I followed. All right. This one is going to be child offset, child offset, child offset, child offset. Okay. We're getting there. We are making progress. I have to duplicate this entire thing. I have to duplicate this entire thing just to look at a different table here. Don't I? Unless I want to bit the that one address all the time. You should crack open a basic and or assembly /C. The television card that basically gives me dev access. Sure, why not? Duplication is good. I don't know about that. Yeah, the Intellivision stuff looks pretty neat actually. Because that's got a pretty beefy processor in it, doesn't it? All right, what am I addressing most for subtract and add? I have indirect addressing modes for this. Yeah. Yeah, I remember looking at it on stream. Yeah, the linker files are relatively straightforward. It's wrapping your head around what they do and how they do it, really. And then, you know, what you can do with that, you know, figuring that out. So if I set these tables to a pointer, if I use a pointer here instead of a direct, or instead of just a straight lookup, I mean, I'd have to look up all the tables, wouldn't I? I don't want to do this. I think I do want to use a pointer, because that'll make things a lot easier, right? So I could use the same code for everything. But I would have to change the values of those pointers, obviously. Actually, no. So, yeah, back here, these aren't offsets anymore. They're not offsets. They're actually that's in relation to the screen, which all of them are gonna be the same. All right, I'm gonna see you. All right, gentlemen, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. You have a good night. Yeah, all these guys are the same. Like they're pointing to they're referencing things on screen, not in RAM. Right. I'm trying to think how I want to do this though, because I don't really want to be like reloading 4 pointers every time. Well, I mean, that wouldn't be too bad, I suppose. Reloading 4 pointers at the start. I'd have to list out the pointers though in zero page, which I mean wouldn't be too bad because I still have a bunch of room in zero page, right? Like I have so much room in zero page right now. What is this? Current port? Yeah, I've got 210 bytes. You know what? Screw it. Yeah, we're gonna make them all make them all pointers. So address for row chord top as to top, bottom, left, right. All right. And then all these guys. I need to use Y there. I need to switch to using Y. I don't think that will break anything else though. Because at the point we're in the vertical brick collide, we've already set everything else. Like X personally. No, I actually have to use Y here for the correct addressing mode. I need to be using this one because this takes a pointer and adds a value to that pointer value, right? This one here starts looking at a pointer at this address, and then based on X, shifts which pointer it's looking at, which memory address is looking at for the pointer. So I don't want to be using X, I need to be using Y. Oh, the Nerdy Knights don't actually use the same assembler. They use NES Assembly, which is a garbage assembler in my opinion. Yeah, and it's just a straight bat file they use, I think. Nerdy Knights week 3. No, where's 7? Yeah. Yeah, this is their bat file. NES Assembly Bong 1 ASM. Yeah, the NES Assembly assembles directly to the ROM image, which I do not like. So it's an assembler and a linker built into one. There are some people that use it. I believe just some guy in chat is using that for more complicated things than just NROM. I don't know if he's still here or not, but I had all kinds of issues with it, and I needed to actually patch in some stuff to the assembler because on error it still returns 0, which broke my makefile. What is that anime or trading card game that uses Link? You were talking about that, like Yu-Gi-Oh? I have no idea what you're saying. What you're talking about there? RW is read write. RO is read only. So RW would be RAM space, and RO is ROM space. Linker assembly. Yeah, I still don't know what you're talking about. Silly fanboy. Alright, so first I need to change all of this to use Y instead of X. Y. Okay. Transfer A to X, push A. Relay A to Y. Brick action caused both of them, I think. Memory is confusing. Yeah. Temple OS? Please. I mean, that's an interesting system. Don't get me wrong. It's just it boils down to a bucket of Y though on that one. I think. All right. Use Y there and load Y. I'm not sure why I transferred that to X. Does break action use that? No, if anything, it clobbers it. Why am I? Yeah, the creator did pass away. He had some mental health issues that weren't, I don't think, addressed very well. It's unfortunate, it really is, but before medicated. Oh, yeah, treatment like helps so much with that kind of thing. I mean, well, treatment for anything really. Yeah, but so if you continue on untreated, it can be deadly in some cases, I guess. Yeah. Well, we've gotten worse. I typically think things like that would, yeah. I would think anyway, it'd be like a it turns into like a feedback loop of sorts, I would think. All right, so let's make sure that main board collisions still work after changing that. Because I mean, there's a chance it didn't. It broke. Where's a good board? That'll work. Where's board 4? Yeah, so let's make sure that main board collisions still work. I'll go up 2 here. I do actually go to 50. I have 15 of them anyway, though. I have 14 of them, don't I? I don't have another board though. I don't have a full board, do I? I got one. Board 1, 5. What? Select none. Thank you. Oh, come on. Okay, erase that. Okay, there it goes. That's better. The health tile all the way down like that. Saving that. Reassemble. I almost like I had to switch my brain and I wanted to stop being a crazy person. Just finding linker files and looking. Nice. Space. Have I tried Space Invaders before? The game? I haven't tried making it. I have played it though. I think. Pretty sure I have. All right. So collision here should still work. It looks like it does. What? Why? Why is making it? No, I have not. I broke it. I broke it. I broke it horribly. $40D7. Cleared it out. Okay. It shouldn't have. If it's colliding here again. You wonder why and go, why? Yeah. Threne. How you doing? And Clumsy, welcome. A bunch probably. Silly fanboy. A lot. I'm gonna say a lot. I'm gonna say a lot. I'm surprised I haven't really slipped up more on stream, honestly. Alright, so it should not be colliding here. At all. Because that brick doesn't exist anymore? You see? So, like... I don't know why it's colliding. Wait. It's colliding horizontally. It's colliding horizontally. Before it collided vertically, I think, right? You know what? I thought about doing this before, and I didn't, because I thought, oh, that's just a hack to get around things that broke other places. New brick action. Instead, get address for brick. Load one, so we don't do any bounce stuff, and we're just gonna abort. We ain't doing anything else. So it doesn't do any bounce. In theory, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if it's one, we return, which does not bounce at all. Okay. Dominus controller. I mean, that's alright. You just have any controller, really. Or even keyboard stuff. Alright. Apparently that was a, well, okay, well, we're not looking at the child boards right yet. We need to... way over there. Okay, I don't want the child boards, actually, please and thank you. I think the collision's a little off now. Even a Logitech that has a proper input or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I've used the PS4 controller because this guy has some weird inputs, ghost inputs on the D-pad. So I've actually used a PS4 controller to confirm that. So I just plug it in and remap things with the input mapping here. Yeah. So I mean you don't need a NES controller. I mean I'm using a SNES controller, right? My NES controller's over here plugged into my actual NES. Switch controller? Probably. You'd have to get it linked. You'd have to get it to the point where Windows sees the Switch controller and responds to it like a controller. I am not all that up to date on that scene though, so I don't know if there are Windows drivers for a Switch controller. But if you can get it working in Windows, then yeah, you should be able to use it. All right. So much crap is broken. So much crap is broken. I mean, I think that fixed that. I think it did. Yeah, sure. Why not? That's fine, Silly. That's fine. Alright, where is the, oh, that's the spawn one, isn't it? Yeah, okay, all these guys here. Alright, so I still need, like, a chunk of code to be like, hey, we fell out of the child board. We need to go back to the main board. And reset all these values, but I haven't gotten around there yet. Load up. Child row chord top. Store that into address row chord top. +1 on that. And then bot. But just search for May Flash wireless Wii U Pro controller to PC adapter. Has a lot of buttons and is great for most simulations. There you go, not bad. Alright, top, bottom, and your left and right. Left. Wait. No, those aren't caps. All right, and then right. Okay. So for the top of everything, I need to yank these and go way to the top. Almost way to the top, actually. Let's see. Let's put it right there. What? There it goes. Better. Whoops. Actually, let's just do this. There we go. This keyboard isn't terrible. All right, so now I need to go to not those here and use the pointer stuff for that. Address record left. Like that. Alright. So that's those ones. Alright. Top. Top. And then bottom. Okay. All right, let's see how badly it breaks. I need to fix that too. That's gonna be something All right, so that still works. This is gonna break. It didn't break as bad though. I still didn't delete the tile, but okay, it deleted it from RAM, but not from the screen. It's progress, though. It's progress. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Glitch out instead of breakout. Yeah, I can. So you know we're gonna go ahead and commit because we haven't committed at all today. All right. What is all this crap we got here? With check wall collide. Did I remove the constants from that? The check wall? No, I didn't. We'll break a brick address is 500. All right. Chord top, chord top, chord bot, chord bot. Chord left, right, right. Okay. Execute collision was removed. Channel board stuff. Okay. All right. So I removed some more constants with the checkpoint collide, and I made the row coordinate lookup tables pointers. Get diff main. One of my favorite channels are Japanese tech or homebrew PC, they call it. As they call it. Yeah, those things are usually pretty neat too. I do need to add that. Main.asm. And there's actually one Russian channel as well that that finds some old hardware. And they actually recently found some really rare Famicom hardware that's got the Konami VR, the Konami chip 5, essentially, for the mapper chip for the Famicom. Why do I need a bunch of pages for Pong? Let me look at it here real quick. The segments. So these are all separated out for different portions of what the memory is, right? So I'll have a look at the top here first. 0 page is the first 100 bytes or 256 bytes of RAM. I have OAM separated out starting at 200. You don't need to, but you can. So I have it separated as its own segment, right? So if I have a look at what do I call it? Pong.asm? Yeah, this is the main file. Pong.asm. You'll see where to go. Do I not have it here? Oh, it's in ran.asm. Okay. Yeah, so I got all my 0 page stuff in that segment, and oh yeah. All the sprites get their own spot. This doesn't have to be here at all, actually. You just need to know where your sprites are when you want to copy them over. The standard RAM, that's your base RAM. I started at 300 only because my OAM takes up 200. I remember the stack takes up the second page of RAM, which starts at hex 100 and ends at hex 1FF. 1FF. So you can't really use that for yourself. That's the stack space. The HDR is the header for the NES file itself. The ROM file. This macro is what sets that. I did not write this macro, but I highly recommend using it because it makes things really simple. You just set all your stuff like this and don't worry about what the bytes need to be in the header. So that's what that is. And then I've got 32 bytes of CHR RAM, or ROM rather, or program ROM, excuse me. And then I also have the CHR ROM separated out as well. So this defines the memory segments, right? This is like, okay, this segment is going to start at this address and it's going to be this size or whatever. Then down here, the actual segments. These define, okay, where it's going to be loaded into memory space. In the resulting file, right? Where it's going to be, well, that's not a good one to look at. Yeah, so this is where the order everything is in the file, right? So the NES header is the first RO one, which is read-only, which is ROM. The BSS, ZP, all those are type RW, right? So those are ignored from the output file because they're RAM space, right? That you can't initialize RAM like this. Yeah, so this tells you where it's going and all that. I don't know why I have two starts here. I don't know if that's required. Yeah. But essentially, one of them tells you tells the linker where that segment should start in 6502's CPU space, memory space, and another one is for, okay, where do you want this in the file that you're exporting, you're assembling into? Have I discovered a fork bomb in assembly yet? I mean, that kind of thing wouldn't really exist, because there's no such thing as forks on this. Really? So fork bomb is starting so many processes that you run out of memory because of all the overhead of the processes, essentially. There's no concept of process on the NES. Thank you for the follow, by the way. I appreciate that. So, I mean, a fork bomb would just be an infinite loop in one spot of code that does literally nothing. And no way to escape that. So essentially, for the NES, you just turn off the NMI from the PPU and just jump to yourself. And that's your not doing anything. So a fork bomb, you have to have a lot of infrastructure around that you're expect. Like it works in Bash, and that's like where it works. And the NES doesn't have Bash. It doesn't have any concept of threads or processes or anything like that. All right, what else do I have? Add maps, child boards. There, okay. All right, so here, what did I do again? I don't know, I removed the last bit of start fixing collisions for the child boards. Raspberry Pi, how you doing? Yeah, fork is more of an OS concept, really. Yeah, you need the operating system around it. That's the infrastructure around it that you need, right? Now. All right, so I start to try. Well, did I actually do it? Like, hang on. Okay, all right, give me a child board here. Oops. Okay, so collisions, they kind of work, but not really. Oh wait, hang on. What? Why do I have a breakpoint there? I don't know why I have a breakpoint there. Is there a lookup table for CPU addresses? Mm-hmm. Proof of your address. Doing AF. Where is it? I mean, it's there. Oh, do I not? I don't think I store the... Hey, by the way, we got rid of it. Do I? Remove brick. It's not here somewhere, right? Well, I can listen to make it to a fort bomb. That won't work, yes. That's not there. It's not working. What? I made a simple linker file, but there's no object files to link. Are you assembling into an object file? Because that's what something you need to do, is that you need to assemble your code into an object file first. That's what CA65 does. Am I getting, here you go. All right, so okay, invert destroy. Actually, that's going to be a, well, no, we're looking at just the first part of that, I guess. Or destroy and vert. Oh. That's the low address, number one. How do I store it? What? Hang on. Bit that, store something in. But we're never equal. Right, because that's an address. I want to check the high address for that. Number one. Right, because vert destroy. This guy. Maybe, I mean, that wouldn't really make much sense. I don't know. Is it making test.o, or are you getting some error? Like, it does test.o exist on your in your file system? Maybe you're referencing an infinite loop or the break specific address. Is there moving it tonight? No, there's not. There's not a movie in it tonight. That'll probably be next weekend. You know, let's not worry about that for now. I think, yeah. It almost works. Bounces happen, and they seem to be correct, but bricks are not removed from the screen. Poker, how you doing? I am in New England. My accent's from like all over though, because reasons. There's no error shown, but does that test.o file exist, Ghostly? All right. It exists. All right. There's no object file to link. What do you mean when you say there's no object file to link? What do you mean by that? Is LD65 giving you an error? Not trolling, but I love old Unix systems, especially world platforms. I find really fun compared to plug and play stuff we have today. I mean, I have a lot of fun with a bunch of the old systems, so I completely get that. Nyano Cat, hello, welcome, welcome. LD65 is showing the error. What's your invocation of LD65? How are you calling it? Do you have the arguments in the correct order? Because I'll show you the exact command I'm using here. Oh shoot, I forgot the -B rebuilds everything. Give me a second. You're not giving LD65 a input file. So once this scrolls through here, you need to pass in test.o as the input file to LD65, or else it doesn't know what to look at. I keep hating when GitHub emails me a dependency error. One of my repos. I just want to use it. Read comments. I don't. The dependency error. I don't get any kind of weird emails with that. All right. So this right here is my my linking line, right? So I've got LD65 here. I've got the configuration file, debug file, and the map file, which you don't really need. I mean, it helps for me because it gets the symbols in Messen for me, but you don't need those. That's completely optional. -O for the output ROM file, and then a list of the object files after all that. That's just space separated, no prefix to any of them. I mean, these are in bin for me, but you just list out the object files. There we go. Nice. All right. All right. So this is still freaking broken. Still broken. Still broken in it. Yeah, so when I, like, bounce sideways, from the paddle, rather, but I, like, move the ball into the paddle, or move the paddle into the ball, it looks a little weird. I might want to fix that, but, yeah, see, so it bounced there. But it didn't actually remove it. So okay, Vert Destroy does get something written to it. Shoot, come on. Oops, I missed. Loa Moboa. How you doing? Hello. Messon couldn't load the ROM file. Does it have the header? It needs the NES header in order to... What was that? No. So there are 16 bytes at the very beginning of your file that need to be there. And the and the vector needs to be there as well. So if I go ahead and open up this program, HXD is a hex file or a hex viewer, so I can drag and drop the breakout.nes into it. So these bytes right here, these are the header bytes, right? So that needs to be there in the very beginning of your file. So your emulator knows what to do with the file, essentially. And for this one, it defines mapper 1, the submapper 0, how much program ROM I have, CHR ROM, and all the other stuff. So yeah, you're gonna need that. And you also do need the vectors at the end of your ROM space. These guys right here, which tell the CPU where the NMI, reset, and RQ code is. Imagine if you were named vector for programming. But yeah, so you do need those in there somewhere. Alright, you know what? Where's the or NMI game? And then we're going to there. And there. Yes, yes, you did. That is Megumin from Konosuba, and so is so are like a good chunk of my emotes. Yeah, I think the only one that isn't her. Oh no, I guess I have two, so or a few. So there's this one, or this one, and this one are those are Akko from Little Witch Academia. I agree with the anime. Well, thank you, appreciate that. Best girl, the best survival build for him. Michael Bay and Isekai back on character time to do a Mega Man build. That's the spirit. Alright, so we've got a breakpoint on the destroy. Alright, so 21OC. What is 21OC? 2-1. That's correct. That's actually correct. So why doesn't it write that? VRAM address is OC21. What? I bitted it though. So it's writing somewhere else. Excuse me? What is it doing up here? What is it doing up there? That's like up here somewhere, isn't it? What? Unit tests. Yeah, so Random, how you doing? Welcome. I thought about that, but I would need to write an entire framework just to write tests for the NES. NES computer probably won't work on NES. So I have a landing, all right? All right, so what's the register that I need to be that I actually need to be bidding here? Is it to, am I loading the right register to reset that latch? I don't think so. Oh, no, okay, no. So clearing, reading 2002 does clear the latch. Black Hamster, how you doing? Welcome. What does %0 mean in the linker file? I think that's output file. I think. I'm pretty sure that's the output file for the command line. Imagine all the money you can. Such a framework, though. Yeah, all the 5 cents. Hidden cap. Where? Where do you see that? I will play this now for homebrew PC in Japanese. Oh, nice. Yeah, feel free to drop that in Discord in the appropriate channel. All right, so the vert destroy and that. Okay, what let's have a look at the address here. 2106. I'm writing them backwards, aren't I? Aren't I? Alright. Load over destroy. So I've got the low byte. Then I'm storing that first. Yeah, I'm doing backwards. Alright. How's it working before? I mean, am I loading them up differently? Excuse me. Orders destroy is never set. Vert destroy is set. I'm using just vert destroy. Something tells me this is wrong. Wait, hang on. Captain Pie, how you doing? Welcome. NES port, Engine X. Excuse me. What? Excuse me, but what? Aha. Aha! I'm doing these backwards. Yeah. Hang on. So I just rows. These. This is a table of words. It's a table of words. If I grab the second one, the second byte, that's the high byte. Okay. Store high byte and high byte. Low byte. Add the column to the low byte. Wrap around. Okay. I do the same thing here. Here, I grab the high byte and put it first. I'm treating the brick address. All right. I'm swapping them around here when I should not be swapping them around. Right. This is where I should be swapping them around. I think. So I was handling the... I did dash B again. I was handling the addresses different between the main and child maps. I can't find INS header in Pong. In my code base, so let's see. So the segments. So for Pong, the what's it called? The macro file does that for me. This guy here. Right here. So that's the macro file doing that. Yes, I use version control. I use Git. So I've got even my current project, the one I'm working on right now, is up on GitHub. All right, so we're gonna reload that. Where are these again? Why can't I go look at? Oh, because the code's not loaded in. Now I can go to that location. Okay. So horizontal destroy will never happen, but whatever. I don't care. Hey, how you doing? Did I say hi to you yet? Currently doesn't have sound and not actively viewing, but there was a web browser running on the Wii. Well, there still is a web browser on the Wii, isn't there? But it says INS header. Do you have the? Are you including the macro file? Are you using the macro file? If not, you have to make it yourself. Well, that was a bucket of wrong. All right. AB21. Okay. So that's around backwards, actually. That's not what it's supposed to be. Kind of. I mean, you know what? That'll work, though, because I do want it. Yeah. Well, no. I did dash B. I need to stop doing that. Missing assignment error. I'm using it. Are you? Do you have the actual commands in there for the header? It has to end with an S2 end, by the way. It wouldn't be too hard since it's just a C compiler target. What? Never made the segment. I'll do it. Still compiling the background there. There it goes. So we're gonna hit make. So my last command is make, not make -b. Do you know anything about Genuine dev kit for the NES? Did it give something close to extra tools? A dev kit for the NES was a manual in broken English that described the hardware. That's about it. Nintendo had their own internal dev kit stuff, kind of. And I'm told even like a rudimentary emulator. They did not give that out to third parties though. Third parties had to make their own stuff. The third parties had to like homebrew their own dev boards and dev kits and all that. So yeah, there is no dev kit for the NES, official dev kit for the NES. There's a testing station, which is not the same. That does exist for the NES. That's just to make sure that like the cartridge doesn't fry the console and all that stuff, you know. All right, over here, reload that game. Let's see if. Oh no, okay, that's not right. That ain't right. That's. All right, Vert destroyed. What? Double 24. Ah! It's so wrong. Kind of feeling pain for doing this, but it's kind of meh. So this stuff is wrong. I wasn't expecting this to be this wrong, and now I've just broken it, like beyond repair. Well, not beyond repair, but. Righto. I broke things. Oh, goodness. And I'm actually getting kind of hungry. So I think I might end a little early today. Because I'm hungry. Get to push. Bet. Oh, I know what happened. I restarted my computer, so I don't have my public key here. Give me a second. All right. Now we come back over here. Oh, because I didn't have my mic added there. Oh well, it's whatever. I didn't want you seeing my password. Yeah, too late now, but I didn't have. I never used that that scene, so I've never tested that scene. See, there we go. Now it works. Now it works fine. Don't leave me with thoughts. I'm sorry. I'll fix it for next time. But yeah, I like never use that scene, so you know. So I've got the current code up on GitHub now. And with any luck, I didn't link to it yet. Why is it not doing it? Should be doing it. There it goes. So I do have it actually building on Travis right now. So yeah, it does actually build stuff for me. I don't upload the ROM anywhere yet. That's still something I'm working on. But we're getting there. We're making progress. I don't like how this is set up at all. Like, this configuration needs to change a lot. But I'll get to that eventually. There was still a lot of stuff I needed to fix to get here. So just getting to this point was still an achievement, right? My code for the counter 128 for new delinquent dollars. There you go. Can Travis do build artifacts? It doesn't host any that I know of, but it can deploy to different places, right? So it can deploy, for instance, to GitHub. But in order to do that, I need to set up a tag for that release, and I don't want to have 1.5 billion tags on my repo for nightly builds, essentially. So I need to figure something else out for that. I might set up my own server for that. That all it does is host those and have this like upload to FTP. I don't know. I might look at AppVeyor to see if I can get stuff building on there instead. Like I said, I don't know yet. I still have a lot of tweaking and messing around to do with that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, so yeah, so there is no movie night tonight. Movie night will be next week, probably. Details will be in Discord for that either way. Don't go anywhere yet though. We're gonna see if there's someone we can say hi to. And I think there is. I saw the go live notification a little while ago. We have some upload command in our Travis files for unopened RCT2. These branch builds. Nice. I actually looked at that code base a while back, and before I started coding in assembly, I was gonna start coding some of that, the open RCT2, but then I realized like I don't know C, so that would have been hard. That would have been difficult. Specifically, there's a Twitch plugin for that project that doesn't work because Twitch changed their API. So why would it work? Twitch likes changing the API. I mean, I got it working on my. I got it building on my machine anyway. I didn't fix the plugin or the Twitch integration, but yeah, I ended up doing this instead. But yeah, so I'll be back on Tuesday, roughly 6:30. I don't know, around there. So I hope to see you guys then. Until then, I don't know, come say hi with me to Shalon50K. He is doing assembly with the Commodore. So he's making a Commodore 64 game. That is also 6502 assembly. But yeah, so come with me to say hi, and I will see you guys next time.